I cannot believe what I just watched. I caved in and finally watched Severance for the first time to catch up before season 2 came out, because for 3 years I've been hearing people say this is absolutely incredible, one of the best new shows, and whenever there's that much hype around a show, some reason I'm always skeptical and I'm like, there's no way it's gonna live up to the hype. Everybody's probably overhyping this, but no, Severance lived up to it and more. If you're unfamiliar, the show follows this group of workers that went through the severance procedure, which pretty much separates their human being into two separate lives, one that's at work all the time and one that's always at home, and they're pretty much two completely separate people. And what this show did so masterfully is right from episode 1, I was perfectly pulled into this world, asked a million different questions about what's happening with all these people, what's happening at the company Lumen, what are they really doing, and I thought some of those questions might be answered by the very end of the season, but no, I ended up with like 50 times more questions by the final episode. Not gonna lie, I was only really familiar with Adam Scott from like a small role in Step Brothers and Madam Web and obviously Parks and Rec. I really haven't seen him in much else, I don't think, but he was absolutely incredible as Mark in this show, both the work version of himself and the real life version. All the characters are incredible. I also think Helly R honestly might have become my favorite character by the end of season 1, if I'm being honest. So I will go over some spoiler points from this point ahead, so warning for season 1 if you haven't watched it. But the episode where Helly attempts to take her own life was where I really woke up and I was like, oh, this show is serious and I gotta lock in. I stared at my screen in blankness as the credits rolled on that episode. It's not just that moment now where she ended up by the end of season 1, where she was awakened in her real body and exposing Lumen, but obviously now she's going to be taken out of that trance, it seems like. Yeah, that entire final episode was worth all the build-up, and I honestly didn't even find the show to be that slow anyways. Everything that was happening I was so interested in, but yeah, the final episode where they're all awakened in their real life bodies as their work selves was crazy. There were so many insane reveals. Obviously one of the biggest ones was Mark S finding out that his wife is actually alive and she was working as like the wellness doctor or therapist at Lumen, which is insane. More questions again. How was she alive and what did Lumen do to her? Did they like stage her death and take her away? Somehow I walked away from season 1 still having no answers on what on earth Lumen is doing. I feel like it's going to end up being some like Soylent Green operation, but hopefully it doesn't go that way. Also going to give credit to Ben Stiller. I did not know he was the director going into this. I don't know if I've been living under a rock or something, but when I saw that after the first episode, I was like, oh my god, he actually has some real sauce as a director. This show looks incredible, which is really a great feat because a lot of it takes place in like blank white office spaces and hallways, but the shots are so creative. They really build up that unnerving feeling of the greater mystery going on. Really just an amazing show. Every character has an amazing arc and storyline going on. Obviously with Irving and everything between him and Bert, that was kind of heartbreaking to see how that ended up in season 1, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. I'm so glad I waited this long to watch season 1, honestly, because if I had to wait 3 years like everybody else to catch up on what happened in season 2 after the cliffhanger ending, I think I simply would have passed away from the anticipation. I would not have been able to make it. If you've seen Severance, in the comments below, let me know what your rating for season 1 is and how hyped you are for season 2. I give season 1 right now a 9 out of 10, but after I let it simmer and rewatch it, it honestly could be a perfect 10 out of 10. Let me shatter your reality real quick. I gotta apologize if the audio is bad. I'm literally filming this like in a forest right now because I'm on vacation, but I needed to make this video because Severance blew my mind when I finished watching it. I really appreciate it if you left a like on the video and tap above my head to watch another video on the channel right now.